Chris was the typical high school nerd. He was smart, wore glasses, had a squeaky voice, and a funny laugh. That was before the divorce. The summer before his senior year, Chris's parents decided to split. Since he was nearly 18, he could choose which parent to live with, and he chose his mother. He loved her more than his father. His mother had never worked before, but she started a full-time job in Lakeview, and they were about to move. Now it was time for Chris to make a big decision. He thought about getting contacts to improve his appearance and maybe even start working out. He had grown out his hair, hoping to fit into the rock and roll crowd. But when he left the eye doctor with his new contact lenses, something unexpected happened. His face looked much more feminine. His best friend Gerald, also a nerd, commented that without glasses, he looked like a girl. Chris's slim frame and lack of muscle made it even more noticeable. The move was upon them, and Chris and his mother settled into a small house in Lakeview. Chris remained shy at his new school, deciding to wear his glasses to avoid teasing. His long hair was slicked back and tucked behind his collar. He didn't make any friends and quickly became bored. The Lakeview Street Fair was happening the next day, and Chris had a plan. He walked to the bathroom, took off his glasses, and put in his contact lenses. He fluffed out his hair and looked in the mirror. For the first time, he thought he looked quite pretty. Chris played with his mother's makeup and was surprised at how good he felt, a strange rush of excitement building within him. His mother was asleep on the couch. He crept into her bedroom, hoping to find something interesting. He pulled out a black dress and held it up to himself, feeling the rush again. Chris found a bra and a pair of pink bikini underwear in the top dresser drawer, and in the next drawer down, a pair of black pantyhose. His small frame meant the clothes fit perfectly, and even his mother's black pumps were a match. He chose a lower heel, just to be safe. Chris returned to the bathroom and locked the door. He started the shower, using his mother's shampoo and conditioner. After washing, he shaved his legs and underarms using her shower razor. When he stepped out, he let the water run to wash away any hair. The tingling sensation came back as he ran his hands over his legs. So smooth! After drying off, he wrapped his hair in a towel. Thoughts ran through his mind. What if my mother finds out? She won't. I'll be careful. This is something I've always dreamed about. I can't mess it up. He slid into the pantyhose first. The feel of them was so pleasant. The softness against his legs felt wonderful. The underwear tickled as he pulled them up, and he fastened the bra, stuffing it with washcloths. The bra had a slight padding that gave his chest a smoother look. Chris lowered the dress over his body, and the tingles increased. As he looked at himself in the mirror, he couldn't help but smile. My God! I look like a girl. He wondered, would Gerald even notice? What about the football team? His thoughts swirled. Am I gay? He thought he was straight, but maybe he was bi. No, I'm special. I can be with whoever I want, male or female. I like girls. If I didn't, I wouldn't want to look like one, but being one would make me different. Chris carefully took off the clothes, folding them neatly. He checked the door. Coast clear. He hid the clothes in the back of his closet, excited about the fair tomorrow. It was going to be fun. It was Saturday morning, and Chris woke up with the same tingling sensation he had felt the night before. He heard his mother leave for work. Poor mom, having to work on a Saturday. Chris went straight to the bathroom and washed his hair. Today was the day of the Lakeview Street Festival. Chris was going to make his first appearance in the new town as Chloe. It was convenient, he thought, just drop the T, and he had a feminine name too. He shaved his face closely and touched up his legs. After putting in his contact lenses, he dried his hair with a blow dryer, styling it into a feminine look. He even used his mother's curling iron to curl the front of his hair, just like the girls at school did. Chris turned on the radio to listen to an AM talk show and practiced his voice. He repeated a few words, working on sounding as feminine as possible. He practiced his new name. Hi, how are you? I'm Chloe. Hello. You vowel practice for the female voice. Chris applied some of his mother's makeup, foundation, blush, and lipstick. He worked on his eyes for a while and felt satisfied with the result. This was the look. He placed his clothes on the table and put on the pantyhose. The feel of them against his legs was lovely. He slid on the panties, fastened the bra, and filled the cups with washcloths to give them a smoother shape. Carefully, he pulled the dress over his head, making sure not to smudge his makeup. A quick zip at the back, and he looked in the mirror. He was beautiful. The dress had puff sleeves, a low cut in the back, and it stopped just short of revealing his secret in front. Chris decided to use some tape to create a bit of cleavage. He adjusted the dress, then stepped into the low-heeled pumps. He was now completely Chloe, to anyone who didn't inspect too closely. His long, light brown hair, blue eyes, and thin frame made him look convincing. Maybe even his own mother wouldn't recognize him. He couldn't wait. As Chris, he was shy and quiet, but as Chloe, he could be herself, rather. She was as close to being feminine as a man could get without an operation. She was ready to test herself at the festival today. Chloe opened the garage door by pressing a button on the wall. She got into the car and drove toward town, finding a parking space on a side street. The festival was in full swing, and people were gathering along the main street, likely in anticipation of the parade. She grabbed her mother's spare purse, slipped her car keys inside, and locked the door. Taking a deep breath, she stepped out of the car. Her heels clicked on the sidewalk, and she loved it. She felt free. Chloe joined a group of people waiting for the parade. It was coming down the street, led by police cars and fire trucks, followed by a marching band. She recognized a few members from Lakeview High. Since Chris was so shy, he was confident no one would recognize him. After the parade, which was rather short, Chloe decided to grab something to eat. She walked up to a French fry booth and ordered in her best feminine voice, "Large fries, please." The young man behind the counter smiled and handed her the fries. She paid the $2, feeling like it was a bit steep, but smiled at him. "Are you going to the dance tonight?" he asked. Sure, maybe I'll see you there," Chloe replied. "Great. Bye." "Bye," she said, amazed at how he was falling for her. This was great. As Chris, he wasn't popular at all, but as Chloe, it seemed like every guy at the fair was looking at her. "Hey, girl, you've gotta run," a voice came from behind Chloe. "Huh?" she asked, turning around. "Your hose," the girl said. "You've gotta run." "Oh." Chloe responded, embarrassed. "Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude, I just noticed things like that." "That's okay," Chloe said. "I'm Ella Maletti," the girl introduced herself. "I'm Chloe Roberts," she said, smiling. "Going to the dance?" Ella asked. "Well, yeah," Chloe replied nervously. "That's cool." "Hey," Chloe asked, "where can I get a pair of pantyhose?" "There's a drugstore on the next block, just go straight ahead," Ella told her. Ella was very pretty, she had long blonde hair, blue eyes, and wore a jean skirt that came up in the front like overalls. "Well, see you at the dance, Chloe." "Bye," Chloe said. Wow, this dance was really a big deal. Maybe I'll meet a guy or something, this might not be right. But my mind's made up and I already told 2 people I'd be there, she thought. She bought some pantyhose at the drugstore and went back to the car. She drove home and picked up a pair of guy's clothes and his glasses so that she could get in the house as a guy after the dance. She changed her pantyhose. After a time home, she went back to the fair. She parked in The general same place. There was a band set up at the far north end of the fair, and there were lots of teens hanging out there, waiting for the dance to start. She walked over to the stage and checked out the band. The guy from the fries stand came up from behind her. "Hi," he said. "Oh, hi," Chloe said. "I'm Ben," he said after a short pause. "I'm Chloe," she said, starting to check him out. He's kind. Handsome. Something inside of her was liking this guy. Maybe. I am gay. No. I'm a girl now, that doesn't matter. Want to get something to eat, he said, I'll buy. At these prices, she replied, sure. He held out his hand, and after shying away a little, she grabbed it, and Chloe and Ben went hand in hand to eat. After the meal was almost over, Ben accidentally tipped his cherry soda onto her dress. "Oh, I'm so sorry," he said. "That's okay, maybe I'd better go home." No, he said, I just live a block over. I can get you something to wear." Well, this made Chloe very nervous, but excited, too. "Well, okay," she said. They walked to his house and he said, "Follow me on in here." He took her into his bedroom and pulled open his drawers. "Here. Take this one." It was a plain black shirt that she put over her head. It looked okay with the bottom part of the dress. She was a little afraid she might be a little warm wearing it over the dress top, but decided to live with it anyway. If you appreciated this story and wish to show your support, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to my channel.